It's personal between me and you, and I'm going to do you some serious harm, you big stiff idiot.
The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing games are missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Alright, so we're going to continue one of my favorite traditions on this channel, which is covering the Japanese boxing scene from the American perspective. Something that nobody else is really doing on a consistent basis. I love Japanese boxing. I feel like the Japanese boxing scene brings a lot to the sport. I fell in love with the country when I went there. I've always been in love with a lot of the fighters that they have in the country, right? So, and I think we're in a bit of a golden age when it comes to Japanese boxing. So it's always fun to make these videos when it comes to the Japanese boxing scene. Now, with that being said, and with that being established here on the home of boxing, True School Sports, Matchroom Boxing, one of the major power brokers in the sport, they have broken ground on what could potentially be a game-changing, monumental deal for the sport of boxing. They've officially broken into the Japanese market. They've partnered with a couple companies, which I had to do some homework on. So I did some homework for this video for you guys. But nonetheless, Matchroom Boxing announced a deal which will see them host 3 shows annually as they announce their expansion into the Japanese market. Very, very great market for the sport of boxing. I would venture to say probably the 3rd biggest market in boxing, behind only the USA and probably, Mexico, Latin America, you could say, Latin America. So, yeah, with that being said, Matchroom Boxing is looking to do 3 shows. They partner with 2 companies. The first company is Rakuten. And Rakuten's a company that, in Japan and abroad, they have their hands in a lot of different things. As far as the tech industry, cell phones, they're kind of like the T-Mobile / Amazon / StubHub of Japan, because they partner with Rakuten Ticket Incorporated. So I guess they're gonna handle the whole ticket part of the equation, right? And a company that I never heard of called Never Say Never, or NSN for short. Now I had to do some homework on what the hell NSN was. They seem to be some sort of marketing agency from Spain. They've done a lot of work in soccer, football. It's a company that was co-founded with former Barcelona legend / midfielder Andres Iniesta. If you guys watch, the Champions League, you'll know that name very well. If you watch the World Cup, you'll know that name very well. Legendary player, right? So, what does this all really mean for boxing? Now, speaking as somebody who loves Japanese boxing, the way I view this deal is quite simply this. It's going to accomplish 2 things. Number 1, I feel like, apart from Naoya in a way, for whatever the case may be, Japanese boxing, they don't do the best job of making their fights the most accessible to people who aren't in Japan. So I'll give you an example, right? I really wanted to watch the Shigeoka brothers, the 2 fighters at 105 pounds fight for the world titles recently. And it was very difficult. And a lot of times, if these fights are on ESPN Top Rank or, something like that, if an American promoter does not acquire the rights to a Japanese fight, it's very difficult to watch Japanese fights. You got to get VPNs. You got to go through different Japanese websites. So sometimes there's a gap between the North American boxing fans, and even maybe, I don't know if it's the same in Europe, but I'm speaking from the American perspective. There's a gap between the American boxing fans, North American boxing fans, and Japanese boxing. And I feel like Matchroom Boxing has a big partnership with DAZN, right? Speaking as somebody who went to Japan earlier this year, I can tell you guys that DAZN is very big in Japan. I remember when I went to a baseball game in Japan. I went to the Tokyo Giants game, the Yomiuri Giants game. They played the Hiroshima Carp out there at the Tokyo Dome. Beautiful venue, beautiful part of Tokyo. Loved it. Had a great night. But, DAZN already has the rights to the Nippon Baseball League, the NPB, the 2nd biggest baseball league in the world, behind only, of course, Major League Baseball, right? And it's a great league with high quality level baseball, right? So that's where I feel, okay, now that Matchroom's in the market, there's a lot of fighters that don't have, rights to, let's just say, bigger promotional companies. each gym is the fighter's promoter. So, you know, you got some fighters in Japan. I know they fight on what is it, Fuji TV, which is like a channel over there. The Shigeoka brothers fight on Amoeba TV, which is like an app, right? So I'm not sure what the television restrictions are for certain Japanese fighters, but I know there's a lot of Japanese talent out there that on a global scale is not being seen. And I feel like that's where Matchroom Boxing can really make some noise. Now, that's one thing I feel this deal can accomplish is getting more exposure to the Japanese fighters, which really deserve it. I mean, you talk about these guys come to fight. It don't matter what weight class. You know, you get a Japanese fighter, they're well schooled, they train, they take the sport seriously, they come to fight, right? And I respect them so much for the way they train and approach the sport. That's number one. Number two, I feel like it's gonna allow some of Eddie Hearn's fighters, whether they be American fighters or British fighters, to get the opportunity to fight in Japan, which is a big market, and their fans love boxing and they're respectful and they support, and I'm sure they would like to see fighters come to Japan and fight. So I know based on what Eddie Hearn said, one American fighter that's expressed a desire to fight on one of these cards is Devin Haney. So maybe Devin Haney goes out there and could fight, like, I don't know, he's at 140 now. Maybe he goes and fights a Shuichiro Yoshino, who's already fought Shakur Stevenson, you know. That could be a fight to look into. I look at one of Eddie Hearn's British fighters, Galal Yafai. You know, he's someone that's looked at as a big prospect. Gold medalist, you know, flyweight. I think a fight with him and Kento Hatanaka, who just entered the rankings for the WBO. I feel like that fight would be great. You know, a great fight. There's a lot of possibilities here for Matchroom Boxing and Eddie Hearn, and I just feel like it's all down to you know, how they're going to handle it. And I really do feel like, okay, obviously Matchroom Boxing's main market has got to be the UK, but you know, apart from the USA, Latin America, and maybe the UK, Japan is up there. You know, Japan is one of the biggest boxing markets there is. So the fact that they got a foothold in the Japanese market, it's an opportunity I feel like they can ill afford to screw up, right? And you know, there's a lot of Japanese fighters that I know. Again, I don't know exactly. I know they have network deals out there, but I'm not sure if that means they're going to be restricted to not fighting on the zone. So, you know, if Eddie Hearn could acquire the rights to guys like the Shigeoka brothers, Kento Hatanaka, Kosai Tanaka, you know, I know Kayaguchi used to fight for Matchroom. I'm not sure if he's still a Matchroom fighter, but get Kayaguchi back on one of these cards. You know, Sonny Edwards, Kenshiro. I know Kenshiro Taraji versus Sonny Edwards. That's a fight that's been thrown out there. So there is no shortage of big fights. Bam Rodriguez is a Tekken Promotions fighter, so the possibilities are endless with that. So yeah, I'm really excited about it. I'm excited about what this could mean for boxing. I'm hoping this means that you know, we'll see some of the top fighters become more accessible to, you know, us here on this side of the world, because there are a lot of us in the hardcore boxing community that love the Japanese fighters, that appreciate the Japanese fighters, and we would like to see them a lot more than when Top Rank picks up the rights to one of the fights now and then. Hopefully this means that Matchroom will be delivering on that untapped part of the sport. So that's the news. Matchroom Boxing looking to stage 3 major fight cards on Japanese soil throughout the year, starting next year. You know, they're working with you know, a pretty big company in Rakuten as far as I guess with the ticket part of their company. You know, they're kind of like the Amazon / T-Mobile of Japan. They got their hands in all kinds of different things. They're like a juggernaut of a company as far as money is concerned. $1 billion company, $1 billion juggernaut. So that's not a small thing for them to be working with. And as far as the other company, they're kind of newer, but they're like a marketing agency that they've worked with like top a lot. They did a lot of work in the soccer world, right? The football world, right? So we'll see how it goes. But you know, definitely a lot of possibilities, endless possibilities, and looking forward to seeing how it all pans out. So hopefully this don't end up like Matchroom Spain and Matchroom Italy, because they don't do no Spain or Italian cards no more. So you know, we'll see how it all goes. But let me know what you guys think. You know, what do you guys think about Matchroom Boxing entering the Japanese market? Leave your comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me. But I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. We're here at the Hatanaka Boxing Gym in Nagoya, Japan. And for more great videos just like this one, make sure you guys click right here.